Welcome back, everybody, to episode 3 in Faction War series with my man Azazzell. Today we're going to be covering the blue boss. And the blue boss has the Sacred Order and has the Banner Lords. We're going to give you guys all the best tips. We're going to cover the boss mechanics, and we're going to let you know the path of least resistance and the easiest way possible to clear both factions. Hello, Azazzell again. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, hello everyone, and good to be back.
Awesome. All right, so go ahead and take the floor, my man. So the first thing we're going to do is cover the boss mechanics, the blue boss. Tell us all about this blue boss.
Okay, so the blue boss is one of probably the most hateful ad in the game, the one that kills people. So it's the boss that has the ally attack mechanic built into one of the kits.
Okay.
So it's once again a boss with 2 ads, but this time instead of being a support ad, they are damage dealing ad. So like with the yellow boss, I will briefly cover the ads. They are pretty straightforward, to be honest. And then we move on to the boss. So there's 2 ads. There's a ad on the right, ad on the left, of course. And the ad on the right hits very hard, ignoring majority of your defense. By the looks of it, it's somewhere between 75% and 90%. Because there's no exactly toolkit. You cannot click on the ad and find out what it does. But it looks like it just ignores a lot of defense. But the defense up buff actually helps. So it's not 100%. And
that's good to know.
She looks like Rowan in the game. She attacks 2 random enemies, and she deals insane amount of damage. I've seen non-critical hits up to 55,000 HP. And this is not critting. The left ad just does simple AoE attack. It's not actually strong. So that's about it. They do nothing else. Like with the yellow boss, the only way to disable them is once again to freeze, sleep, or stun them. No other way. The boss itself. So one of the skills is ally attack, where the boss itself attacks using its A1 in both ads join the attack. So what happens is boss attacks first, then left ad attacks, I guess that's position 2, and then the heavy hitting right ad finishes the ally attack mechanic. Now, if there's no ads, let's say you managed to kill them with a block revive, the boss will apply block damage on herself. So she will just attack you, put the block damage, and sit there for the entire turn with a block damage buff on. The A2 of the boss is adds revival. So what the boss does is revives the ads, and it's on a 4-turn cooldown. By the way, just as ally attack is on a 4-turn cooldown. Forgot to mention that. And when she revives the ads, she puts a sleep on herself. If you manual it, which you should, the stage, and you have ability to target the ads before you target the boss, this kind of like buys you the entire turn on the boss by just leaving the boss alone, let her sleep, deal with ads if you can CC them, stun them, or start applying damage to them before the boss will take a turn. That's the second ability. And the A1, all enemies, and there's a 40% chance to apply fear. Not the true fear, but the regular fear for 1 turn. So that's the ability. She hits relatively decently, but there's nothing special about the strength of the hit of the boss. And that's about it. That's the mechanic of the boss. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go straight into the Banner Lords, which will be the first faction that has this boss. So straight out of the bat, for the boss stage, I would say that pretty much all legendaries are good, especially the ones that can heal. Black Knight is a good option. He's a healer, provides with a A2 ability. Yeah, provides increased defense up, which is actually a very important ability to keep everyone alive. Minaya is actually pretty decent in the faction, both for her aura. 19% speed is not the best aura, especially for the legendary, but it will come in handy to you. And she has 2 heal abilities, plus the shields. Lugan is probably the best support legendary in when it comes to healing. And of course, Ruglin. If you have Ruglin, this is like the case with the Duchess, guys. If you have Ruglin, you have no excuse not to beat this faction. She just makes it super easy, simply because she revives ally with pretty much full HP, 75%, on a full turn meter. This will get booked, most likely by you. 2 turns, she just keeps reviving people back up all over and over again. And she has a massive heal. It's actually a pretty significant heal that also removes the debuffs from all allies. And last but not least, a triple hitter A1. So if she has like a Giant Slayer on her, she can deal some damage and fill the turn meter of 3 random allies, so pretty much the entire team, by 15%. She can be put in many different sets and you will beat the faction. And of course, aura of 33 defense is a big deal in all battles. Baron is actually, even though it's a void legendary, it's probably one of the most underwhelming legendaries of this faction. He's super difficult to keep alive. Any skill that is RNG based is not in your favor in faction wars, guys. Unless you have insane gear and you're aiming for this, 2-minute run on the faction, Baron is not the choice. If you have as a legendary and you have other sources of damage, do not use him. He will make the faction super difficult, even if you have Raglan. Lord Chamfort is actually pretty good champion to have. Once again, AoE, decrease accuracy and attack. And the best part is it's 100%. You don't need to book him. So he's a great shield carrier, great support for you, can deal some moderate damage. Citalia, also great healer, great turn meter manipulator, small source of damage through the HP burn on her. And last but not least, a joke of our fusions, Killian the Lucky, but he's actually very good CC'er for this wave because he has absolutely any disabling ability that you want, plus some random buffs that he just throws on himself all the time. He's actually a good champion to have in this faction.
100%.
Now we move to the epics, and immediately Stag Knight stands out. Ever since they released this guy, arguably the best, probably after Madame, the best epic in the game, hands down. People use him everywhere. Dragon, even though he's weak affinity, Spider, Ice Golem. I've seen a bunch of Stag Knights used in arena in lower stages. He's just that good. He provides you everything. Defense down, attack down, on a 3-turn cooldown, decreased speed on his A1, double hitter, so he's a good candidate for War Master. And this ability, this passive, is actually not bad. If you have some other champions and you're lacking that additional accuracy, it's okay because he will apply this increased accuracy on them, and the next turn, if they have more than one debuff in their kit, they will actually debuff the enemy target. So he immediately stands out. Lots of us have him because of the battle pass, and then the people who came later after the battle pass finally were able to summon him. So I yet to see an account that progresses through stages 21 of Faction Wars that doesn't have him. So use him. He is the best champion together with Raglan for this faction. Another honorable mentions from the epics is probably Seneschal. He can provide the leech. so your team can heal on the boss at least. He has the continuous heal, unfortunately only for one ally, but Perfect Rail is actually a good buff to have. And he has like a counter attack with a provoke, not bad on waves, to be honest. So overall, he's a good choice. Oathbound is a great choice of damage and additional debuffs with a decreased attack, block cooldown skills, and freeze. So he's a good epic if you lack in legendaries in the faction. Warcaster is actually a pretty good choice, especially considering that the wave 2 of this faction contains the Maniator. This ability comes in clutch. You put the block buffs on everyone, and all you have to care is to stay alive. That's pretty much it. So, and of course, block damage 1 turn can come in clutch to mitigate some damage. Usually, this guy is the slowest on the team, so he can apply this since you're gonna manual this at the right time, or rather, you're gonna apply. Rowan was changed, but honestly, I will not use her. 690 defense is super rough. It's just almost not usable. I've seen people talk about Azure. I never worked him in because of this ability, but I think it's not enough. He's just all underwhelming overall in terms of his kit. The tiny stun on A1 is just not worth it. Let's go over the rares. And the first rare that really stands out is Valerie. She is a great healer with this ability. It's a 5-turn tool cooldown, but that's fine because she also applies the shields. And it's one of the abilities that is based on her levels. So that's unfortunate part about her. You need to have her at level 60. But because she's a farmable champion and she's a rare, we all get her from stage 1. She's easy to get, and she actually has a decent aura for a rare for the faction wars, specifically HP. And then she has, I think, one of the best abilities in a game. She increases duration of all your positive buffs and decreases the duration of all enemy debuffs. So if you have her high HP, decent speed, high resistance, every time the boss applies fear, because it's only 1 turn, she can remove it right away. And you just roll through your turns and abilities uninterrupted. And of course, a small increased attack is good for any attack damage dealing champion. This guy, Myrmidon, he's actually pretty decent, and he deals, if I remember correctly, he deals pretty high. He has a high damage multipliers. So if you really lacking damage, he can provide some sort of damage for you. Plus, he has the AoE decrease attack, book to 80% chance, but nevertheless, it's still useful ability. And last but not least, one of the few factions that actually has a gem in uncommons, Commander. Very powerful champion. Good HP pool, decent speed, actually very good speed for the uncommon. And she has a very powerful heal that also completely fills the target turn meter. It's a 3-turn cooldown, and then on a A1, she has a small chance to stun. Very small amount of abilities, but they are down the line, they matter. So make her fast, make her tanky, and she will be your good source of heals if you have nothing else from the legendaries. This pretty much covers the overall champions in the faction. And then I'm just gonna roll the small clip. And as you can see, I have Valerie in a leading position, and everyone has a big fat bar, HP bar. I have a shield set on my Stag Knight. I forgot to mention that. Stag Knight is one of the champions that you can put any set on him and he's good. Stun set if you want, shield set, relentless set, whatever catches your fancy, or whatever you have on your account. Use it, and you will be rewarded with that. So as you see, I have everyone healthy. Even my Richthof, who I use here as a damage dealer, has well above 45,000 HP. Most likely, people gonna stay alive, even though I have Raglin, just in case things go south. As with the wave of Broadmaw and Torture Helm, I targeted both Broadmaw and Torture Helm, cleaned them up, and then on the second wave, unfortunately, with a team like mine, there's nothing you can do. You cannot kill Maneater. There's no way. So you kind of have to out heal and out tank this wave. But with 3 healers, Black Knight, Raglan, and Valerie, they possess no threat because they have so much heal, so much debuff capabilities that it doesn't matter. I just heal through the wave. We're on a boss. And once again, clean the ads. I just provoked the right ad, and as you saw, it will not matter at all. She still attacked me, and quite hard. From what the people tested, attack down actually doesn't matter on her. She still hits super hard, so maybe her damage source is HP. This is just a guess. But the defense up helps. If you have a champion with a defense up ability, use it. You will not regret it. It will help you stay alive through her damage. Kill her first, and then deal with the boss and other ad.
So always try to kill the right ad, and then the boss.
Yeah, always try to kill right ad.
Yeah.
Since you're going to be manual in that, always try to gauge the turn meter because you can see it on both ads and the boss. And the best part about the revive ability is even if one ad is dead, the boss will use that ability. So the boss revived the hard-hitting ad, let's call her Rowan, and you try to kill her again. You kill her, and then for 4 turns, no ads, you just deal with the boss. That's pretty much it. This is the stage 21 in a nutshell. Once again, I don't have Killian. I would have used him 100%, I guarantee you, if I had him. And he makes the control of the ads very manageable because you can stun them, you can sleep them, many other things. So for the Bannerlords, I think this is pretty much it. By the way, Septimus is actually a decent choice of damage. Just tank him up. So he will help you speed up the actual final wave, which is the boss himself. As Manable mentioned many times before, the faster you do it, the less chances of things to go wrong. So
100%.
Septimus is a good choice. Baron, do not use him if you can avoid it.
And I'll repeat it again. A lot of these factions, you need patience and RNG. Just because you lost one time doesn't mean you're not going to win the 8th time or the 7th time. So please do keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys, do not give up on first failure or even the second or 5th. For anyone who beat the full faction wars, and for anyone who, for example, we're going to cover that down the line, but 2 words, dwarfs and no Molly. It's a nightmare for anyone who did that faction without Molly trying to restart. Some people did it 2-3 weeks in a row. Every day faction will be open. They will be just going and going and going, and eventually that RNG will come. So fight on. If you fail 10 times, try it again. On the 11th, you will succeed. Sacred Order is once again has very powerful legendaries, especially defensive legendaries. Sir Nick, Tower, and Martyr just make the progression in this faction, I would not say super easy. Well, Sir Nick kind of does. A properly built Nick can carry the entire faction. Martyr and Tower really provides a lot of defense and damage mitigation for the entire faction. And Martyr actually, because of the counterattack, provides a lot of offense for your entire squad. So Sacred Order is any legendary is good to use. With exception of if you can avoid, do not, unless you already have him 60 and mastered and everything. Errol is really underwhelming. they need to do something for this guy to be really shining. His damage is not that great. His stats are okay, but it just, I don't know. He just rubs me the wrong way. And I have him. I try to use him. It just, if you have a damage dealer like Abyss, use her instead. She's much better source of damage. She has better stats. Overall, but the real value comes if you have any of these legendaries. Are of course Venus, Cupidus, Cernic, Martyr, and Tower. Now, if you don't have them, that's fine, because Sacred Order has a lot of epics to offer. There's a lot of support and damage in this group. There's also like a small cheese that we can cover as well.
I love cheese.
So first is, believe it or not, Juliana is actually a decent choice as a damage dealer in this faction. She is she can apply enough HP burns, and she can remove the buff from one target. It will come handy, especially in Mariner waves. I've seen it done. I never did it myself, even though I have her at 60. Eothar, probably better choice of damage overall, because he can block cooldown skills. Once again, very useful on the Mariner wave. You just block the cooldown on a Mariner, and you kind of don't worry about the unkillable and block debuffs. He has multiple poisons, and he can steal buffs. Unfortunately, he's mostly single target, but on a boss, it actually kind of good. Romero is actually decent healer and support champion. So if you don't have any of the legendaries like Cernic, Tower, any of that, use him. He is a good source of continuous heals, shields, and small increased defense. I never understood why they never made it 60%, but whatever. 30% is not bad as well. Then we have Phoenix. He is actually one of the champions to cheese the faction wars with. So this ability, anytime there's a debuff on a target, first of all, he hits this target twice, because once you ascend him, hits with his A1 2 times. For those who used him and know, he hits extremely hard on this ability. And he block revives the ads. So if you manual lane, most likely you will come to a point when Phoenix kills both ads one after another. And after that, the faction is walking apart. All you do is just wail at the boss, make sure that everyone is, healthy, and that's about it. He also has like block buffs, block cooldown skills on attacking all enemies, and also decreased defense and decreased speed on his A3. So overall, very good kit for the faction wars. Mistress of Hymns, a good reviver. She revives to random allies with 50% HP and places a veil buff on them. This is big because she will hide them and they will not get attacked unless it's an AoE attack. So she's a good option for the reviver. She also provides the continuous heals and actually heals lowest ally for a bit. She doesn't deal a lot of damage, to be honest. But overall, she has good stats, good speed, lots of HP, so you can build her in different ways. Shield set, immortal sets, whatever you want. Cardinal, the best epic in a faction. She is superb support. She revives all dead allies, heals them, boosts their turn meter to the max, meaning they will go immediately. And it's on a 5-turn cooldown. She can revive the entire team. She provides heals, and she has a small chance to put some poisons on the enemies. So overall, a glorious epic. Lightsworn, same thing. He has a small turn meter manipulator, not much. Decreased attack, decreased speed, increased defense, revive, and death. So it's all revolves the entire faction, full of champions that just provides defense up, block damages, shields, and continuous heals. We see the same trend going into the epics. So this guy, a new epic by the way, Many of you maybe farmed him in one of the events. He actually removes all debuffs from one ally, heals them based on the damage inflicted. He is okay in terms of the damage, nothing special. Provides the shields on all allies equal of this champion max HP. And what do we see? 18,000 base HP. That's good. And last but not least, A1 heals the ally with lowest HP by the 7.5 of damage inflicted. I've seen a couple of people level him up, and it looks like he can deal between 10 to 20,000 damage, which is not bad. So he is a good source of heals, a very budget source. Mother Superior, been in the game for a long time. She's a great source of heals. Continuous heal, shield, just a regular heal. Once again, she puts the shield after the heal. She has the speed aura. We all like speed auras. And last but not least is the Athel. A lot of people started with her. If you don't have other significant damage dealers and you manage to keep her at 60 without using her as a food, use her. She is a decent damage dealer. You can never go wrong with her. She can self-buff herself, take multiple turns. Overall, she deals a lot of damage on all her abilities, provides the weaken debuff. So just stick to her. You will never go wrong with her. From the uncommons, Armiger is a good choice.
Yep.
If you have him at 50, keep him at 50, use him, you will benefit. Just like you benefited in Fire Knight or Spider, he does the same role here, guys. And he also has block revive. So if you don't have Phoenix, you can use him to block revive ads and have a safe final stage. Last but not least is the cheese. So what you do is, let's say your team is kind of questionable. You don't have many revivals. Let's say you have Mistress of Games only. So Bushi, you level him up to level 40. Put some random crap on him. Make him super fast. In fact, if you can keep his speed at 90, that's perfect. Let him die. And then he comes back to life with Unkillable. What happens? It's like Paragon cheese. All the enemies start hitting him. So everyone on the wave will try to kill this dude. And because he's super slow, by the time he's gonna take his turn, you can either heal him to the max if you want, or just leave him be. He dies, you revive him, and he will buy you so much time and mitigate so much damage that by that time, most of the time, you're probably done with a wave. And then on the boss, it's the same thing. Let him sit there with his Unkillable and do nothing. Like, his job is to attract enemy attention, and it works. I personally suggested to a couple of people who were struggling with Sacred Order, 3-star in specifically 21. They applied the strategy. They even added additional condition with Swift Parry set on top of him, and it worked brilliantly. He was just sitting there absorbing all the damage, and he has the coming back to life mechanic. So if you struggling with your roster, use him as a viable option to cheese the faction. I'm just gonna briefly show my run. Once again, it's a auto run. As you can see, I have very powerful champions, especially Sir Nick. But the key things are still in this game. I have debuffs applied to the enemy. I have shields from Sir Nick, and I have a damage dealer. In this case, I have 2. As you saw, Torture Helm is broken. You actually cannot block his revive, no matter what. But I specifically took Phoenix here to apply block revive on the enemies. And if I remember correctly, in this run, he will actually not apply it because it's an auto, because I was too lazy. But if you manual it, you will absolutely use that ability, use that A1 to kill the enemy ads and just make your run safe and steady. So, and as you saw, this is a typical wave with Man-Eater in this faction, like many waves have. I think it's the most common one. Yeah, just to fast forward, I mean, it's the same mechanic on the boss. So once again, the ads will do colossal damage to me. I don't have attack down. So there you go. The ally pool, lots of damage. My Sir Nick got hit for 50,000 or so damage. So yeah, 53,000. There you go. That was the number of the right ad. So always kill right ad first. So I think this will just wrap up the both factions. There's no other factions with this boss, just these
Perfect.
two. And once again, as I mentioned before, if you find some other champions to use them, guys. This is not like use only these champions and nothing else.
Right.
No. If you can work in like other support champions, I don't know, Canoness, Hope, or whoever you want and feel like will work for you, kudos to you. But the easier way to progress is to use one of the champions in the pool that was mentioned. This is just as a guide, pretty much, to you.
Perfect. And if you are going to go the Bushi route and try to do the Bushi cheese, keep in mind that that's going to take a little bit of patience. And don't, make sure you have several attempts that you're going to give at it because it does work. I have heard of multiple people using him to clear this faction. So just always keep that in mind. I know we're sometimes being repetitive, but it's just because we don't want to see comments down below saying, oh, I tried this once and it didn't work. Understand that you only need to clear it once in 3-star and you never have to do it ever again. So we're just trying to give you the path again of least resistance for you guys to do that and least resource spent possible. So Azazzell, thank you once again, brother. Purple boss is going to be next, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video coming right up.